Mic Drop Moments is sponsored by Grow Radio. Want to launch your own podcast? Grow Radio are here to help. Grow Radio has launched and supported countless podcasts, and they'd love to do the same for you. Just hit record and they'll handle the rest. No editing stress, no technical faff, just a great podcast released when you want. Need a little extra support? Grow Radio's workshops and courses make getting started easy. Let's bring your podcast to life. Message Grow Radio on social media or reach out to Gary Jones, the founder of Grow Radio. Let's make this happen. Welcome to Mic Drop Moments, and today I'm chatting with Enfys Maloney of Sales Training with Enfys. Enfys, do you want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me back, Sandra Garlick MBE. We're here for take two. I'm Enfys. I'm best known as a sales expert. I'm a mentor to many already established, already successful business owners who are taking their sales strategy and their brands and their businesses up a level. And we do a huge range of things here at Sales Training with Enfys, from the Golden Peacock Awards, which you sponsored last year, to events, to retreats, to masterminds, to just to mentorship and speaking and more. So yeah, it's all going on.
It's all going on, and we will put a link in to the previous episode because today we're not going to talk about sales as such. As I say, if people want to hear more about the sales side of things, they can tune into that episode, which I think was towards the end of 2025. But we will put a link there. What we're going to chat about today is my theme for the month: be seen, be heard, be celebrated. And I want to talk because you are sponsoring the awards again. And, you sponsored the awards last year. You sponsored in October, the Solopreneur Awards, and took a pretty big feature there in the morning. And you're doing that again at these awards as well. So firstly, why do you sponsor events? And secondly, what can the audience on the day expect?
Yeah, so we're actually pretty selective about who we sponsor and what events we attend, because time is precious and brand alignment is everything. So we sponsor and partner with the Women Who Awards because there couldn't be a better room for sales training with Enfys and Vibrant Connections and the brand that I represent and run here. Everything that I do is about championing business owners, many of which predominantly like women in business. And that's also what the Women Who Awards are all about, and creating female role models. Like, it's a mission that we want to endorse, partner with, and help champion. So when I think you sent me a message I think it was a Saturday, you just messaged me saying, do you want to come back and sponsor the Women Who event, awards? And I was like, yes. In the set, like, it was as simple as that, wasn't it? It was just easy. And I think that's what brand alignment and like an instant partnership is all about. It's about having a collective audience that both brands are there to serve. And Sales Training with Enfys, Vibrant Connections, the Women Who Awards, it is all about community, connection, and being seen, being heard, and being celebrated, frankly. So I can't wait for next week. It's going to be another incredible event. I just know it.
Yeah. So you came to the Solopreneur Awards and I invited you and I said, why don't you deliver Vibrant Connections actually at the thing? It's basically more structured, facilitated networking. Let's not say structured because I hate that. It's not that structured. It's facilitated. Where did these conversation cards come from? Where did you first come up with the idea for that? Because, yeah, they just went down like a house on fire, and everybody loved the fact that they weren't forced to speak to somebody, but it opened up connections, it started conversations, and people just came back and said, wow, I wouldn't have spoken to so many people had we not done that exercise. So where did the idea come from?
Yeah, so I mean, you're a founding member of Vibrant Connections, I believe. So, Vibrant Connections is my online networking provision. It's my membership. It's where my whole community come and gather and meet twice a month. But there's nothing better than in person. So, when the opportunity came to be like, oh, let's do a pop-up, let's do Vibrant Connections live. I immediately contacted my graphic designer and I was like, right, I need cards, I need question cards, and every card is different, every question is different, and every opportunity to talk around the topics are going to be is going to ignite something for those in the room. So I circulate the room in a way that, you know, networking, let's be honest, like it's awkward, right? It's so awkward and it's intimidating. And because it's awkward and intimidating, there's such a habit, let's say, to create little bubbles and it can be quite cliquey and like penetrating a conversation can be really hard or escaping a conversation can be even harder. So by facilitating and moving the room around with the vibrant connection style networking, it gives people an opportunity to have good conversations quickly. So I'm allergic to small talk. I'm allergic to small talk. Honestly, I don't like I love my dog and I love warm weather, but I am not going to high caliber business events to talk about the dog and the weather. Like I'm there to ignite opportunities and to create strategic moves for the business, and whilst having a great time. I think, we all have a really great time at Vibrant Connections, but we have an opportunity rich time as well. So when you invited us back, I was like, absolutely. So I have actually printed some new cards for next week. You will see, you will see. Um, so that's it really. I just think that networking done well can can ignite conversations, opportunities, something new, whilst like dull as dishwater, done it all before, boring, stagnant rooms that don't move. I'm just kind of outgrown that kind of environment now. So yeah.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how we move these 150 women around, but we will do it. We've got space. We've
Mm,
facilitated that. And I think it's lovely because the morning is all about networking. It's all about making connections. And we've got lots of opportunities. But I wanted to have this facilitated session so that people maybe who hadn't had those conversations, who hadn't been able
mm,
to speak to somebody or felt too nervous to do so in the environment that you create, it's fun as well, which
mm.
is another important element, I think. So, thank you for supporting once again. It's great to have you back. No doubt the feedback will be as amazing as it was for the Solopreneur Awards. People said that was the best bit, apart from the ones that won the awards and said that was the best bit. But anyway,
There
so
are so many best bits
oh,
though,
there
aren't
are
there?
so many best bits, so many best bits. And you're also taking part in a panel discussion with some of
Hmm.
our other speakers, and we're talking about sales and different ways to sell. So that's going to be amazing as well. Now, for the people that are not going to be in the room on the day, by the way, you're missing a phenomenal day. It's going to be amazing. So let's talk about awards because I think awards are important. I think they're important to enter. You've entered awards, you've won awards, you've embraced the awards thing, and then you decided to run your own awards event at the end of year extravaganza, the Golden Peacock Awards, which I sponsored last year. So tell me how they came about.
Mm. So when I first started this business 5 and a bit years ago, I knew that I would be supporting real high caliber individuals to do great things in business. And, when you work by yourself at home, doing all the things like achieving great things and having amazing opportunities and doing work you love and all the rest of it, at the end you want to get that recognized. It's nice to not just create success but to celebrate success. So this will be our fourth year of hosting the Golden Peacock Awards. So I launched them pretty early on in my business, and they've gone from strength to strength really. And it's just the time of year where we can reflect on what you've achieved and put it forward, get it recognized. And it's such an important part to recognize your work because if you don't recognize it, who else is going to? And I saw somebody post actually on LinkedIn earlier today, and I completely disagreed with it. It was about why would you bother? Why would you bother like entering awards? Like my clients don't look for me to be award winning. And I'm like, actually they do. It is when I look for suppliers, when I look for people to help me in my business, or if I'm investing in, we're just buying a hot tub like half an hour ago before we came on this onto this podcast. I'm looking at the reviews. I'm looking, is it award winning? I'm looking at like what the social proof is for that, and that's just a hot tub. When I look at suppliers or anything, like we want to help our next buyers select us. Like the competition you have at the minute is fierce, you know? Your competitors are award winning or they could be award winning. So you gotta be current. You've got to celebrate your own achievements and back your own achievements and not think, oh, I'm not ready. That's for the judging panel, you know?
Yeah.
That's and you'd be surprised, like you're already ready. So I'm a big champion of high quality, and I'm saying that very intentionally, high quality business awards that recognize true achievement. It will change the positioning of your brand. When you change and up level the positioning of your brand, you attract bigger, better clients. You can command better rates. You can do more interesting work, which I think is like the point. We want to do interesting work. We want to do work that means something, that has purpose. And being award winning, having a celebrated brand that is recognized by the industry. Like, why wouldn't you? Why would you close that door off to yourself? So, yeah, the Golden Peacock Awards, the Women Who Awards, there are lots of, there's several, not, there are lots of awards. There are several really good high caliber awards that I stand by.
And it's interesting because you said, why wouldn't you? But actually, just going through the process, you're not doing it just to say to everybody, look, entering awards here, which is great. You're doing it for yourself. You're
Mm.
doing it to recognize yourself because I think too often, and why I started my awards was women weren't recognizing themselves. They weren't saying, hey, look what I've achieved. They weren't celebrating their own
Mm.
achievements. And too often we're rushing on to the next thing, rushing on to the next thing without stopping to pause and celebrate how far we've come. And that's why I think awards and good quality awards and the process helps you do that reflection piece. And I think too often we think we've got to wait for somebody else to enter us, and that isn't the case. You've got to get stuck in yourself because nobody knows your business, your financials, your achievements better than you.
I'm always actually, I don't know if I should say this on the record, I'm a little bit skeptical of you've been nominated awards. I'm like, oh, hmm. I'm like, who's nominating me? Is it just the award host as a marketing campaign? So I'm really uncertain about some of the practices that I see in the nomination space. So actually, I think it gives it a gravitas and credibility to enter yourself.
And
Because
I,
there's so many scams, it's unreal.
yeah, and I think the first year I did my awards, going back 10 years, 85% of the nominations were third party. But what we did as soon as we received them, we sent them to the person who had been
Mm,
nominated to
mm,
tell them, look, you've been nominated by this person. And I
mm.
say to people, look, if you've been nominated for an award and it's come out the blue, ask for a copy of the nomination. I
Yeah,
was nominated for an award recently, and the first thing that happened was they sent me a copy of the nomination so I
mm,
could see what
yeah.
had been said about me. And I won an award last week.
Yay!
Lovely
Yeah,
as
you
well.
did. I saw that. That was a big award, Sandra.
Was, yes, very unexpected. The last
Mm,
award of the evening. I got all my little, and this is why you should never leave awards early. I've been to awards before where there's lots of categories, and they get to your category and you're shortlisted. Oh, somebody else has won it. Right, I'm going home. And I've seen whole
mm.
tables leave awards, and you never know what's going to happen at the end. You never know
You never.
at that last
It's,
minute.
I think that sticking power, actually, there's a lot to be said for that in business, just generally, not just at that table, but every table. If you've paid to be in a space, if you've spent energy, resources, time being in a space, you would be amazed what happens in the final moments or that final hour. Like, don't leave it. So many, like, this is kind of spinning out from here, but the after party, like what happens at the end. So congratulations on staying out, sticking with it with that table, and and getting the real win at the end. That's amazing.
I would never leave before the end of an awards. I just, I just wouldn't do it because I know in my
It's like
award
leaving a football match at the
it
end.
is before the end, and the fight. How many goals are scored in the last extra time? So
Oh,
absolutely, definitely, great analogy there. So we've talked about awards. We've talked about the Golden Peacock Awards that anybody
mm.
can enter, I believe.
Yeah,
Any
yeah.
woman in
So
business. Yep.
it's best known within my own world and clients, but absolutely, Golden Peacock Awards are open to all. They are open now. If you go to my website, you will find the enter the Golden Peacock Awards, and then they will be celebrated on the 20th of November at the end of year extravaganza, which I hope you're coming back to because I think we changed the date just for you, Sandra, to be there.
I've
Um,
already got my ticket. I've already got my ticket.
the
Yeah.
end of year extravaganza is a joy, but we have work to do before then. We have got a lot of great projects coming up.
So, projects. You've always got like I want to talk about your retreats first because I
Mm.
think these are worthy of mention.
Mm.
Now, it's not everyone that's got Portmeirion in their back pocket, really. When people are putting on retreats, they're searching for retreat houses or they're thinking of great destinations. You have got and have grown up around Portmeirion, and you've got this wonderful, I call it Lilliput, but I know it's not, but it just feels like that to me. It's the most beautiful place I've ever been to. And I just felt as if I'd been on holiday when I
Mm.
but you created just a great space with great people in it. And although it was a day retreat, it was like a mini break.
Yeah.
You've actually put stuff around that this time. Your next retreat has got an evening, then a full day, and then that beautiful evening meal, and then something, we've got a session the next day. It's grown a little bit, hasn't it, from just your day retreat? I know you used to do week-long ones, didn't you?
Yeah.
So why is Portmeirion so special to you for you? Why do you want to bring the world to Portmeirion?
Well,
Apart from the fact you're Welsh.
convenience. One, I'm like, why would I travel when actually I live in a holiday destination? So I live in North Wales. I'm sat here talking to you from Snowdonia, Padcarery, and Portmeirion is down like 15 minutes away, but also it's part of my heritage. The architect was my great grandfather. Portmeirion pottery was created by my grandparents. The Portmeirion story is part of my life, and the village of Portmeirion, they call it Little Italy, so no wonder you like it,
Yeah,
Sandra.
I love it.
It's a colourful, if you don't know, you're listening to this being like, what the hell is Portmeirion village? It is with there's a castle, there's the beach, there's beautiful woods full of rhododendron and really incredible like plants. There's really, really beautiful fine dining, but the whole village is kind of magical. And the space, I think the environment in which you learn changes what you can do with that information. Like my retreat would not have the same impact if it was hosted in a white walled chain hotel, like a corporate hotel. It just wouldn't. Like I need that inspiration and to show that, my grandparents had their ideas at home and turned it into an iconic global brand shows what how dangerous an idea can be. Do you know what I mean? If you're able to see it through. And so bringing people home is, I think that there's something there. There's also just a comfort level. I'm really familiar with Portmeirion. Yeah, there couldn't be a more inspiring space. And the Beatles took their retreats there. So if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for
Well,
us.
I
And
never did that, so next time
can
I'll
I
be.
just can I just add? I was just whilst you're on the phone there. Sorry to interrupt you there, Sandra. I was just counted. I did. I have ran a full sold out retreat in September 2025, October, January, February, and now May, and the next is in September. There is huge demand for these retreats because we don't need to travel internationally. We don't want to travel international potentially. Like I don't want to leave travel internationally because my kids are still young and I want things kind of on my doorstep. Even though Portmeirion could be like a few hours drive, it is worth it. So yeah, there's huge demand for my retreats, and they always create something incredible for those in the room. And yeah, so if you're interested in the next one, May is sold out. You're going to be there in 2 weeks. But after that, my September retreat, I'm going to do something a little different. As of yeah, well, enough
Well,
on
my
that for now.
my secret podcast that I've started putting out was actually born on the last retreat.
Yes,
It was
yes,
an
it was.
idea from somebody else in the room and just said,
Mhm.
"Why don't you do a secret podcast?" I said, "What's that?" And now I've done it. So I'm intrigued as to what will come out to the next one.
Yeah, hold on tight, hold on tight.
Yeah.
And that's, we want ideas that create tangible results and create energy and momentum in the business. And you can't do that sitting alone by yourself at your desk, talking to the same people, having the same ideas. Like, you got to break the mold, and that's what the retreat does. So yeah, it's good. It's really good.
So we're talking about celebrating things, and we've been talking about all sorts of things. You have got, and we're a swear-free zone here, so we're going to be careful how we do this. But yes, tell us what you've got coming up. I always ask my guests what exciting is coming up, and you're excited about this, I can tell.
This is a biggie. This is a biggie because it feels like something that was a secret, and now all of a sudden I'm allowed to say it. And I'm like, am I really allowed to say it out loud? So on the 21st of May, and to your listeners, please come to this. We'd love to have you. On the 21st of May, 10 until 12:30 in my Zoom room, drum roll, please. And I won't swear, so I'll change the first word. Um, I'm going to run a sales and visibility summit called Sod It, I'm starting a podcast. And
Well, it's a launch event, isn't it?
it's
It's
a
a launch
launch
event.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a launch event. To bring people into my world to, well, it's going to be ultra valuable. We've got workshops, we've got networking, we've got announcements, we've got a mega competition. So if you want a free retreat place, come along and find out how you can grab that. But it is just literally a be seen, be heard, be celebrated event for me, and my clients, my world, and to bring this new podcast. Actually, it's also a YouTube channel, so it's also the Be Seen. Bring it into the world with some, yeah, with some, well, make some noise, right? We want to, we want to
Fantastic. And we
celebrate
will
it.
we will share the link. And I think that, it's all about being seen, being heard, and being celebrated, which is our theme for the month. So
Mm.
that just fits perfectly.
Mm.
And it sounds fantastic that you're putting on this summit style thing so people can just book, register, come along and
Yeah, it's going to be totally free.
be
Yeah.
part of that celebration and the launch of that podcast and YouTube channel that's coming.
Yeah, and these workshops will be ultra valuable. So I'm going to talk about up leveling your positioning. My brand has been really in a transformative state for the last, well, it's built and built and built, but Q1 has just knocked it out the park. And I'm going to talk about the painful reality, no, the painful process of brand elevation, because it is a process, it is a bit of a journey. So I want to talk about that in one of the workshops. And then there's another workshop on being visible, actually. And then there's a workshop on constructing offers that sell so it doesn't break your business. So if we're, creating scalable businesses, we need to have offers that facilitate that growth and don't like crack under the weight of bringing on so much work. And then interjected with vibrant connection style networking. What could be better? 2.5 hours at this event on the 21st of May.
That sounds amazing, and I'm sure it will be that. And people say, "Oh, 2.5 hours. I don't want to sit on Zoom."
Oh,
But
why?
actually, it's an investment in yourself and your business. Why
It,
wouldn't Why wouldn't you spend 2.5 hours on Zoom?
it is not. This is a gift. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is, people, these events that I run are absolutely incredible, and I can't wait to share it and make space for people to learn, connect, share, grow, get ideas, and then get on with it. Because if you had one idea from the retreat that's turned into a secret podcast, what on earth is this going to create for those in the room as well? So yeah, 2.5 hours. I'm like, oh my God, it's going to fly. It's
It
gonna
will fly.
fly.
It will fly. Um, Sadly, we have run out of time. I just want to say thank you again for supporting Woman Who and the awards again. I always ask my guests to leave the audience with a mic drop moment or some piece of wisdom or something that will make the audience think. I mean, obviously, the audience that aren't going to be in the room next week are just missing out on loads anyway. So just register for Enfys's thing on the 21st of. It's not a thing, it's a I was going to call it extravaganza, but it's not an extravaganza. What is it? What is it? It's yeah,
It's a launch event for the
a launch
podcast.
event. A
It's
launch
called
event.
Sod It. I'm starting a podcast, but it is a sales summit, bringing together visibility workshops, sales workshops, and networking, which is what this brand is known for.
So, what's your mic drop moment for my audience then? What profound piece of wisdom can you leave them with?
Do you know what? The thing that I was shaking my, not physically, but I was like, shaking my mastermind with this morning was like, you're already ready. You're already ready. There's too many talented, ambitious, already successful business owners telling themselves they're not ready. And I'm like, what are you waiting for? There has never been a better time. There has never, because there's no better time. It's always, frankly, the wrong time. It's the wrong time to start a podcast. It's the wrong time to have this conversation. It's the wrong time for everything. It's not true. It's the right time. You're already ready. So get on board with it, back yourself, and get on with it because the world needs your talent and your award strategy, your visibility strategy is a bridge to communicate that with the world. So, yeah, you're already ready. Get out your own way and get cracking.
Thank you, Enfys Maloney, and I look forward to seeing you in person next week.
Thanks so much, Sandra.